The Norse and Viking people used the stars and astronomy for many things in their day-to-day lives. They used it for things like sailing to lands known and unknown, finding your destiny and what you will become. They also used astronomy for reasoning their religion and how they became as the Norse and Viking culture. Most of the information that we have relied on for this project has come from oral passing downs of information and information from the Eddas. The Scandinavian Eddas are manuscripts and compilations of poems from what is thought to be the Viking era of time, or from 793 to 1066 AD. The Eddas are dated back to 1220 to 1270 CE. This means they were not written or compiled in the same period as the Vikings were said to be active. Because of this, most of the written information we have about the Vikings is considered to be an estimation of what Viking life and culture would have been like.
Astronomy was a big part of the lives of Vikings in many ways. Arguably the biggest way is the way they used astronomy to rationalize and show real-life signs of their religion. The sky and the heavens, or space, were thought to have been created by when Odin, Vili, and V killed Ymir and used the various parts of his dismembered body to create the world and the cosmos. Another connection from the Norse religion to astronomy was the story of the moon and the sun. After the earth was created, the moon, which was a daughter of the gods named Night, and the son of the gods was given the name Day, were given chariots and were ordered by Odin to ride across the sky, allowing the rising and setting of the sun and moon. This is how the Vikings rationalized the day and night cycle. This also led to calendars and how they knew what time of the year was coming, when to go raiding, and when to harvest their crops. The Milky Way was often called the Ash of Yggdrasil because of the trail of the Milky Way that can be seen in the sky. Another showing of Viking astronomy is in the different constellations they created, used, and assigned meaning to. One of the constellations is Ulfskeptir, or the translation, the wolf's mouth. The wolf represents the wolves that chase the sun and the moon. Others think that it is the wolf Gram that is guarding the edge of the realm that leads into hell at the edge of the Milky Way. Another interpretation of this is that it's the wolf Fenrir on his way to the Battle of Ragnarok. Another one of these constellations, as many of us know today and have even talked about in this class, Orion's Belt. Although in the Edda it was called Fiskarlar, or the fisherman. It was said when this constellation could be found highest in the sky, fishermen would have great luck finding beautiful and healthy fish to feed their village and their families. The Big Dipper and the Little Dipper also have their own identity and meaning in Norse astronomy. The Big Dipper is sometimes referred to as Thor riding across the sky on his chariot, and the Little Dipper is often referred to as Freya doing the same thing. The most interesting constellation that we found is the Asar Bhagavi, or the battlefield of the Asar. This depicts either a battle between the Aesir against themselves or the last battle of the Aesir, or Ragnarok. Since all these constellations are in close proximity of the belief that tells one story, which is the story of Ragnarok. As you can see in the image, you can see the wolf coming towards the battle. Many people believe this is representing the army of hell marching on the Bifrost to start Ragnarok. You can also see Thor flying away from the battle in his chariot. Many people believe that he is leaving the battle to go fight the world serpent Jormungandr, which he will perish from.
The Vikings and the Norse people used the stars and many other aspects of astronomy for day-to-day events. The Vikings used the stars and bodies of the cosmos for navigation over the seas, as they were a proud seafaring people and were famous for being excellent explorers. They used different ways to navigate themselves, including the pole stars, to orient themselves in the direction they needed to go in. It is also believed that the Vikings used some technology to find the direction they needed to be moving in. They used something called a sun shadow board. This is a piece of circular wood that had a pole in the center that would be placed in a bucket of water. At noon, the bucket would cast a shadow in the direction that they were currently traveling in. This is how they would know if they were moving in the desired direction. It is also questioned if the Vikings used sunstones to find the location of the sun during dreary and stormy days to help them find the correct cardinal direction to travel in. This shows that the Vikings had a good understanding of how some of the core aspects of astronomy worked, and they used the knowledge that they had obtained to travel the world and become known to this day as great seafaring adventurers. This was made possible by the use of the stars.
This topic of study relates to me because I have been interested in Norse mythology from a very young age. Ever since my grandfather told me that I was of Scandinavian descent, I wanted to learn more about the culture and who they were as a people, and how they came to be and what their religion was. I have cousins that live in Sweden and Norway, and whenever they came here to Minnesota, they always told me stories of the tales of mythology and religion of their land. This is when I found the stories and the myths of their religion and had once had or still have found interesting. That's why this topic was something I wanted to do. This project allowed me to learn about how the stories came to be and how they can be shown and found in the world all around us. It has also allowed me to find out how they use some of the information from the stars in their day-to-day lives. This put me closer to my goal of understanding how the culture came to be and how it relates to the world around me.
The information we have found concludes that the Vikings used and connected aspects of their life to the stars and other things in astronomy. They might have not been the most advanced at the time, but they were using the information they have found to better their lives and become one of the most advanced seafaring cultures in the world. They also used the cosmos as a way to rationalize their religion and bring into the world that they inhabited. This proves that the Vikings understood the stars and used them effectively. Thank you.